3 months I was in absolute diabolical agony.
For decades, Ozzy Osbourne was known as the Prince of Darkness, a wild, unpredictable rock legend whose music changed the world. But behind the chaos and stage antics was a man who fought unimaginable pain, battled demons, and ultimately left behind a fortune so vast, it brought tears to the eyes of those closest to him. This is the story of Ozzy's rise, fall, redemption, and the legacy that shook not just the music industry, but his family and fans worldwide. Ozzy Osbourne's journey began in the gritty streets of Birmingham, England. Born John Michael Osbourne on December 3, 1948, he grew up in a cramped two-bedroom house shared by 6 siblings. Life was tough. His father worked night shifts in a car factory, and money was always tight. At school, Ozzy was bullied relentlessly. Nicknamed AZ to mock him, he was beaten and misunderstood. Struggling with dyslexia, which went undiagnosed for years, teachers labeled him lazy, and classmates called him dumb. The pain didn't stop at school. At just 11 years old, Ozzy suffered sexual abuse, a trauma he kept silent about for decades. These early hardships planted the seeds of the darkness that would later define his music and persona. By age 15, Ozzy could barely read or write his own name. He drifted through odd jobs, tuning horns in a factory, emptying trash bins, and even working in a slaughterhouse, where the blood and smell haunted him. Desperation led him to a failed robbery attempt, landing him 6 weeks in a cold prison cell. That experience was a turning point. He vowed never to return and realized he needed a new path. Music became his escape. Inspired by the Beatles' She Loves You, Ozzy decided to become famous, tattooing AZ on his knuckles as a symbol of his new identity. Early bands failed, but in 1968, a simple ad led him to meet Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward. Together, they formed Earth, soon renamed Black Sabbath. Their debut album, released on Friday the 13th, 1970, was raw, dark, and unlike anything the world had heard. It was a reflection of their pain and the bleakness of their environment. War, addiction, madness, themes that resonated deeply with a generation. Black Sabbath's sound was revolutionary. Tony Iommi's factory accident, which cost him fingertips, forced him to loosen his guitar strings, creating the heavy, ominous tone that became their signature. Albums like Paranoid and songs like War Pigs and Iron Man sold millions and defined heavy metal. But Ozzy's personal life was spiraling. By 1979, his drug and alcohol abuse had become uncontrollable. His erratic and violent behavior led to his firing from the band, a devastating blow that left him broke and isolated. For 3 months, Ozzy lived in a filthy hotel room in Los Angeles, barely eating or sleeping, convinced he was dying. It was Sharon Arden, daughter of Black Sabbath's manager, who pulled him from the abyss. She believed in him when no one else did, managing his career and eventually becoming his wife in 1982. Sharon's sharp business acumen transformed Ozzy's chaotic life into a lucrative empire. Ozzy's solo career exploded with the release of Blizzard of Oz in 1980. Hits like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley showcased a new, sharper sound, fueled by the talent of guitarist Randy Rhoads. But tragedy struck in 1982 when Randy died in a plane crash, a loss that broke Ozzy's heart and haunted him forever. Despite this, Ozzy continued to release successful albums, proving his resilience and cementing his legacy. His wild antics became legendary, biting the head off a bat on stage, snorting ants, and biting the heads off doves, moments that shocked the world but also added to his mystique. However, his music also faced controversy. In 1984, a lawsuit claimed his song Suicide Solution incited a fan's death, but the courts ruled in Ozzy's favor, setting important legal precedents for artistic freedom. In 2002, the Osbournes reality show brought Ozzy and his family into millions of living rooms worldwide. The show was raw and unfiltered, revealing a side of Ozzy that fans had never seen, a clumsy, loving father struggling with addiction and health issues. The show was a cultural phenomenon, influencing reality TV and celebrity culture for years to come. Despite his fame, Ozzy's health was fragile. He battled Parkinson's disease, injuries from a quad bike accident, and chronic pain. Yet, he continued to perform, winning a Grammy in 2022 for Degradation Rules, proving his enduring relevance. When Ozzy passed away on July 22, 2025, at 76, the world mourned a legend. His family, including wife Sharon and 6 children, stood by his side. The $220 million fortune he left behind was carefully managed by Sharon, ensuring each child received their share and that charities supporting Parkinson's research and children's hospitals benefited. Ozzy Osbourne's story is one of pain, perseverance, and transformation. From a bullied boy in Birmingham to the godfather of heavy metal, his music changed the world. His family's tears over his fortune reflect not just the money, but the emotional weight of a life lived on the edge, a legacy that will echo for generations.